guys, let's do this. What up? It's JoJo on the radio. This is the iHeartRadio Countdown. Great to meet you. I can't believe I'm sitting here in front of you after watching you on Instagram doing your thing. Beihold, how are you?
Hello. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, let me make sure I'm saying your name. M stands for Emmy or Emily, right?
Emily, yep.
Beihold is the correct pronunciation.
I'm really impressed that you got it right.
Heck yeah, man. These little things stress me out. Things like, because I played your song on the radio here in Los Angeles, a couple of days ago, and I'm thinking, God, if she's listening and I screw this up, I'm going to look like a big, just a mess, Oh, the stress. And this last 2 years has been just a bizarre. This is how I describe my pandemic experience. Bizarre. At times you feel like you're living in a sci-fi movie, certainly in the early part of it. Describe your pandemic experience.
Ooh, yes, sir. So I graduated college in June 2020 in my living room, which is funny because I was actually supposed to study abroad in Italy. So it was just like the exact opposite of what we were expecting. But then I was applying to jobs, literally hundreds, heard back from one total, and was, depressed as the kids are. And then downloaded TikTok, started posting original snippets, and life changed kind of quickly.
Wow. So you were studying to do what?
So I studied communication. I don't actually know what that is. I couldn't tell you.
I don't either, yeah.
But we're communicating,
yeah,
so we're fine.
We're doing it, yeah.
Yeah. I always knew I wanted to be an artist, though, and songwriting was always my favorite thing to do, so I'm certainly glad it ended up this way.
So in a bizarre way, even though the pandemic was terrible in a lot of ways, obviously, but it kind of pushed you to what you needed to be doing.
Oh,
yes. Clearly.
Oh, I don't think I would be here without it. Not that I'm grateful for it. We don't like the pandemic, but I think things happen for a reason.
And you'll get you're not going to be able to study abroad in Italy now, but I'm sure there'll be a tour at some point. You got to roll through Italy. That's how you're going to get your Italy in, I'm guessing, right?
Fingers crossed, yeah.
There we go. All right. Working on an album, EP? I mean, you're going to get that question a lot, What are we doing?
Working on a lot of singles, hopefully an EP album maybe next year, if the people want it.
What do you consider an album versus an EP? What's the difference? And I've been through so many debates on this. I'm so confused. I don't even know what the answer is.
I'm going to say an EP stops at 6 tracks. An album is like 15-ish.
Okay. The middle, like I'm a big Michael Jackson fan.
Mm-hmm.
Thriller being the biggest album ever. 9 songs.
Is
the original.
It?
Yeah, 9. I mean, granted, that still fits in your theory of 6, But God, I've heard so many answers on that, and I don't even know what it is. So I guess I like your thing though. 6 is the cutoff. If it's more than 6, you're looking at an album.
I think so. See, my favorite number is 11. So I've always wanted to do an 11-track something, but I don't know. I call it an 11-track something because I don't know if it's an EP or an album.
Dude, okay, your first album's got to be called 11, right?
11, I think you're right.
All right, we'll get to more details on our album and all that, EP, whatever it is, later on, so stay close. First time you heard it on the radio, where even if it wasn't me playing it, when was the first time you heard it on the radio?
So I was actually in the Republic Studios recording the acoustic version of Bug, which is coming out soon. And my manager runs in with his phone and he says, "You're playing on Kiss FM right now." And I just couldn't help but repeat, "Why is it playing?" Because it didn't feel real or correct.
What time of day was that?
Oh, this is afternoonish. Which we were shocked that we got a daytime slot because I know that you normally test like younger.
That was me that played that then.
Oh, it was you?
Yeah, this is of course a national countdown, but you're in LA. I'm on Kiss FM in the afternoon. That was so did you hear me introduce it?
No, we heard kind of the middle towards the end.
Okay, good, because I hope I didn't, like I said, jack up the intro there. But how exciting is it to hear your song on the radio for the first time, or any time really?
Insanely exciting. I don't know how to process that.
It's pretty wild for sure. This question applies since the bulk of your blowing up in the music world has been during this kind of weird time, pandemic, whatever you want to call it. But what's the weirdest place you've been asked for a selfie, or can fans even get to you? I mean, have you been locked behind closed doors? That's kind of what I'm saying.
You know what? To be so honest, this is embarrassing. Only one person has asked me for a selfie in the past 2 years. I don't think I'm relevant enough for a selfie.
That's going to change. Are you ready for the change?
I mean, I'll take selfies. Sure.
Okay. All right. What if you're like eating dinner? Let's project towards normal times. When all this stuff is kind of behind us. Eating dinner, food in your mouth. Can I have a pic?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
The fans deserve, Maybe I'll regret saying that later. I'm gonna stop myself.
You refer to yourself, I think, tell me if I'm wrong with this, but you've referred to yourself as the Walmart Sarah Bareilles.
I am.
What is, describe this.
Well, she's a legend, and I'm not. So, I'm she's doing the punchy piano thing. I'm doing the punchy piano thing. I've looked up to her. I've, growing up, always listened to her stuff, and I'm not trying to be her. I'm being my own version,
right.
But, she's Sarah Bareilles.
Have you thought about, you're with the label now. Maybe you can have someone, unless you know her, reach out and meet eventually. These things happen all the time. Have you thought about reaching out to her?
I mean, I've thought about a nice little DM, but I don't know how to phrase that. Like that's scary.
You got to maybe somebody on your behalf, because I don't know how you want to do it, but you have to slide in those DMs.
You're
for
right.
Sure.
You're right.
All right. Numb Little Bug, or as you called it, you just call it Bug.
At this point, yep.
Yeah. What do I need to know about this track? Like, what is it? Give it to me.
Give it to you. All right. I wrote Numb Little Bug when I felt nothing. I was on antidepressants. Strangely, it was supposed to be a great time in my life because I had a song going viral and labels were reaching out and my dreams were coming true. But all of the highs were taken away along with the lows, and I was just kind of in this middle ground for a while. I remember the day I adopted my kitten, and I saw her, and she was so cute, and I felt nothing. And that was freaky because I'm a cat person, and they're my favorite. Wow.
So, okay, don't give on any personal information you can't reveal. Are you okay now? Or things? How are you feeling now?
I'm good. I'm grateful. I've been numb since the song. Like I've felt those emotions since the song came out. Like, even achieving your goals doesn't fix the mental stuff.
Right.
But, it's amazing. Obviously, I'm super appreciative.
Such a unique track, man. It's just really blowing up on you. Congrats on everything. Let's do this thing. A question I ask a lot of artists, and this answer is going to change when I talk to you, maybe like 5 years down the road, whatever. 2-part question.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest crowd you've ever performed for? I think you kind of gave me a little tease of it earlier. And the complete flip of that, have you ever been booed?
Okay, I'm going to answer them not in order.
Okay.
I've never been booed, but I did play at a charity concert once. I played Firework, and I forgot the chorus of Firework. So I played the verse on the piano. I was singing blah, blah, blah. And then I just stopped playing and I just stared at everyone and then I left. And so I think they were mentally booing me because that was bad. But biggest crowd, probably the 626 night market in Arcadia, because there's hundreds of people walking around, but not necessarily listening to me. So
those kind of things train you to be the artist you're going to become, because once you go through a couple of rough ones and have the piano experience where you forgot the lyric forgetting experience, that all adds up, and later on you become you.
Yeah,
that's got to be a crazy feeling. Would you rather be booed than just forget and just run off?
I don't think I would love the heckling. I don't think that would sit very nicely in my brain.
Yeah, I've heard some wild stories. Calvin Harris told me once he got booed opening for Rihanna when he had a song with Rihanna out.
Oh,
in Paris they booed him for out. He said they were ready for Rihanna. They didn't want any part of him. But of course he's Calvin Harris now, so it happens to everybody. Here's a question that you kind of alluded to earlier, and I didn't want to ask you until now. One of the hardest things you've ever had to do was teaching ukulele.
Yes.
To a group of third graders.
Yes.
And I'll just preface the whole thing by saying, I've walked on stages in front of a lot of people. That for some reason doesn't frighten me anymore as long as I'm prepared. The thing that freaks me out is, hey, JoJo, can you come speak to a 4th grade class? Not even kidding. That's terrifying, right? So walk me through this whole experience.
Before every class, I would spend a lot of time tuning the ukuleles, 20 of them.
Right.
And then, the kids get in and they start playing around with the knobs, and all of a sudden we have 20 untuned ukuleles after I just spent the past 15 minutes making sure they're great. So there's really no winning in a class with kindergartners and ukuleles. Also, there was one pink ukulele, and everyone wanted it. So I would base it off best behaved child for the day would get the pink one. It's a whole political system.
Oh wow! How did at the end of the class did anyone learn anything?
Maybe the C chord where you press in literally one spot on the ukulele.
God, this sounds for me terrifying.
Yes.
Oh my God! All right, I'd rather be in front of 50,000 people doing who knows what than that's crazy.
I think me too.
All right.
Yeah.
You don't know this about me. I told you off here just briefly, but I am obsessed with the paranormal. Ghost, UFOs, all this craziness in between. I'm off the deep end. I've got a podcast called Paranormal. You've had, you don't think it's a paranormal experience, but I would love to hear it nonetheless. What happened?
I think I saw a fairy. I was in the car, and I saw wings, and I saw little fluttering, but it wasn't like butterfly vibes.
And how old were you when you saw this?
Maybe a little too old, maybe 11, 12.
And did you get any, clearly you didn't get a pic of this thing, obviously.
I got a mental picture. I can see it. I know where it was.
Describe this thing. Give me some more.
It was in my neighborhood. It was kind of, it was like flying in place. I wish you could see my little wings on the radio.
If you're on the radio, she's doing what you think she's doing. The little, I've heard some crazy stories. But out of all the, the stories I've been told on the podcast or otherwise, I've never heard of a fairy encounter. What do you think? Do you think it was a fairy? Is it like an angel? I've heard angel encounters, and maybe who knows? I'm
a big fairy girl, so I'm gonna say I saw a fairy, and no one's gonna take that away.
I'm with it. I like it. All right. Quick question about that track. You posted an instrumental snippet online, and you asked for fans to give you lyrics.
Yeah.
Did get anything good from that?
Yes. Oh my gosh, there were. I don't know the exact number off my head, but I've been so impressed by what people have been posting. Some that come to mind there's someone named Rathew who did a really amazing one. Keep It Inside, a friend of mine did a great one. I don't know what his artist name is, but his handle is whole lot of miles, and that one was very impressive.
With these lyrics that they submitted, will you do anything with them?
That's a good question. I don't know yet. We'll see.
I'd be curious to see what if anything, if you do with these things. I don't know why that just stuck in my head. Like, wow, I'm just, who knows? Em, what's the story about you, UC San Diego fencing team?
Yes. So I went to college because I wanted to fence. I didn't need the communication, if we're being honest. But I've been fencing since I was 8, and I wanted to do NCAA competition. So yeah, I fenced competitively with their team for 3 years, graduated 1 year early.
And you guys did pretty well in the NCAA championship, right?
We did. Yeah, I think, oh gosh, I don't remember where we placed. I should, because I was on the team that helped that.
But hey, here's what I'm leading to. Have you ever been like, there's a danger to that, even though you're covered up with like protective gear and whatever, but have you ever been like, doink, just really jabbed?
Here's the thing, like, you're covered in bruises, but you kind of don't notice it. And I was my roommate was a fencer also on the team. And so whenever we'd come home, we were always just like completely covered with bruises. And our other roommates were like, are you guys okay? Like, what's going on? But we're like, nah, it's just battle scars,
God, and what about like you never get poked in the eye with that because you have the guard on, but does it ever point? That scares me.
A former coach of mine had his nose broken because the bell guard went through the mask, I think, and hit his nose, which is rather unfortunate.
Yikes.
But normally your face is fine.
That's almost as terrifying to me as running like a third grade class, but not quite that level. Numb Little Bug's doing great. Record deal, all this good stuff. What's your, like, that inner circle, family, friends, what's their reaction to all this craziness going on?
Everyone's been super supportive. It's so cute. I think my dad is more excited about all of it than I am. Like, he's always checking the stats and like listening to the radio things and is like, did you see that this person posted this or this got this many views? And frankly, I haven't really been watching the numbers too much because I've learned that's not a healthy thing for me to do.
Right.
But I hear about it through my dad.
Same question to you. Like, what's your reaction? I mean, this is kind of a dream come true, I would think,
It's gone.
Sort of?
Yeah, it's definitely a dream come true. I'm super grateful. I'm overwhelmed. I'm happy. At some points I've felt numb just because I don't know how to process it, but not necessarily numb in like a bad way. It's just a lot.
What a rush. Numb Little Bug, M's track is out. Obviously, get on this track. Album or a body of music we're looking at, in the future-ish? Like this year, you thinking? Or next is, maybe that's top secret. I don't know. Right?
Definitely more singles this year.
Got it. A lot of singles. Yeah. Basically, follow her for all the details. Tour. She's talking tours and all this. Yeah. What am I forgetting to ask you?
Ooh.
It's kind of a cheating kind of a question. But, what am I forgetting, M. Beihold?
The secret of the universe.
What is the secret of the universe, M. Beihold?
I really set myself up for something I don't know.
Guess we don't have an answer for that. M, it's a real pleasure to meet you, and congrats on everything.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. At the end of every interview, fist bump to make it official. Bam!